is Thursday, August 13th, 2009, and it is my weigh-in day. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of sorts today. I had a shot of espresso after dinner, like the Italians do. Oops. Yesterday, and I was up until 6 a.m. Like, I was tired, but I could not sleep. So I was just laying there, you know, eyes closed, not sleeping until 6 a.m. So I slept until 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I just feel completely off and wrong. But anyway, I did get enough sleep to figure my weigh-in is relatively accurate. So I weighed in this morning, and I was 159.6. Woohoo! It's the lowest I've ever officially weighed in, 159. I am in the 150s, and my God, does it feel good. I'm living the life of just dreams now, because I always thought if I could get to 160, I would really be happening. And now I'm in the 150s, and that is like, I feel like I'm living in a fantasy land. I'm feeling like I'm going to wake up and suddenly realize I'm still 230 pounds, you know? It's just crazy. So that's a loss of 1.6 from last week, which is an immense loss, considering the stage of weight loss that I'm in. And I think I'm losing more than that in fat. In fact, I'm positive, because my body is changing so very rapidly in front of my eyes. I know I'm losing more than what I saw on the scale. Probably because the scale was a little off, because I've been doing so much working out on building muscle. I'm physically seeing the changes of the muscle building and the fat melting away. So I know, you know, I'm just losing a lot, and it feels really good. I have now gone to the gym for 2 weeks straight, and I am having a blast and working really hard, and I believe tonight Jason and I are going to spinning, so that's really exciting. So I've got a couple things I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I'll get to them all, but first of all, hot for Halloween. I am so sorry a video did not go up on Wednesday. Greg and I just had massive technical difficulties. He was on the road, didn't have a camera, tried to film with his BlackBerry. It was shit. My video was an M4V, which he couldn't convert with his software on the road, and it just became a disaster. And we're like, this is total bullshit. We'll just put it up. I think it's going up tomorrow or Saturday. So there will be a video, and we'll probably do it consistently at the end of the week like that, since now it's going to have to go up that way. So that's the deal with Hot for Halloween. A lot of people have been asking me lately, why aren't you videos available on mobile? And the reason is that I upload in .mov or .m4v file, which are high quality Mac files, and it takes YouTube an age to process them. I think it's like a day that it has to process it in order to be viewed on a mobile device. If you upload from Windows, I think it's available immediately, and I'm not sure why that is, but in any case, that's why. I'm not like blocking mobile viewing or anything like that. It just simply takes a long time for YouTube to process my video for mobile content. So about a day later, you should be able to see it online on your phone or whatever. Another common comment I've been getting is, I just can't do this raw food thing. And my response is, then don't. I'm not asking you to do raw foods with me. I'm simply sharing so much about it because of my personal exuberance for the plan. It is a huge change in my life. It has changed my life and will continue to for a long time coming. And so I'm just so thrilled, and I want to bring people along with me. And there are clearly, by the dozens of messages I'm getting, people out there who needed this and who are gaining experience and learning vicariously through my current experience, and it's improving their lives, whether they are doing raw food or whether they're just taking some principles from it and applying it to whatever their current eating plan is. So I would say don't do it. You know, Jason has recently decided to not do raw food, but instead just do non-processed, which when I first met him, he was transitioning into out of Jenny Craig. So I don't consider it a step back to go from raw food to non-processed. I consider it still a step forward from doing the Jenny Craig entirely processed food plan. And you know, he told me he was just, it's like a little fear in him that I'm going to be disappointed in him if he's not doing raw foods. And I just had to smile, because the truth is, there's no way I could be disappointed in somebody who's making a change in their life and it's working for them and they feel good. Where's the disappointment? If you can't do raw foods, don't do raw foods. Be healthy. Keep getting healthier. However that works for you. I mean, I had to do non-processed for a year before I would even consider raw food. Maybe that's the next step for you. Maybe it's not even non-processed. Maybe it's just not eating fried food. I mean, you have to start somewhere. Find something that is a healthier choice for you and make it. Because only by making one small healthy choice can you then approach another. And only by making lots of small healthy choices can you tackle a whole new way of eating, like suddenly eating completely clean, non-processed, as opposed to eating how you ate. And then suddenly eating all raw or 80% raw from a non-processed diet. I mean, it takes time and it takes transition. And then I wanted to say, if you really do want to do raw food, but you're just finding it really difficult to transition, the transition is going to be different for everyone. You have to remember that I am a special case. Special case. I was raised vegan and then vegetarian. I was raised on a lot of raw foods. I wasn't raised on fast food. I was not raised on dairy, at least not for most of my childhood. I was raised eating the way that I should be eating now, with slightly more cooked foods. We weren't raw, just vegan and then vegetarian. There was a long period where it was like 80% raw probably. But I was raised like this. So the deviation from ages 17 to 23 where I was eating meat, and the deviation from ages 13 to 23 where I was eating dairy and processed foods, it's almost like I just meandered away from how I was raised for a decade and then now have come back. And like, for example, giving up meat for me is no big deal. I've really never been a big fan of preparing it at home and only done it a handful of times over the course of my life. So for me, it's a really easy step, but for some people, it's going to be a lot harder. I mean, you're going to have to be really looking at your choices, and everybody's going to be experiencing those changes very differently. I also want to talk a minute about the physical aspect of the detoxing, which I'm going through. As you see, I've got a blemish here. The other day I had like 4 others. My face is breaking out all the time. My hair gets oily really fast. I sweat a hell of a lot more when I work out. I am detoxing. I can tell. It's kind of gross, and I don't want to go into too much detail, but I can tell that I am shedding a decade of bad eating. Very slowly, but it's coming out everywhere it can, and it's disgusting, and it's also very liberating to know that these toxins are no longer in my system. So you might see me with blemishes on my face or on my chest, or with oily hair sometimes. Today I'm out of bed hair, but I'm sorry. That's just how it's gonna be. I'm doing my best to keep hygienic, but it's quite an experience. Oh, this is a big deal. I went to South Coast Plaza yesterday with Jason. We sort of went because he'd had a horrible day Tuesday, and he called me and he was like, can we please just go do something completely fun and ridiculous? And so we of course decided to go shopping for couture, and I had so much fun. But I think the highlight of the entire trip was trying on Gucci dresses. Man, they were amazing. I'll try to put in some pictures right here. I have always been at the very, very upper end of sizes, 14, 16, depending on the year. And then toward the end, I was like an 18 pretty solidly, right before I started losing weight. And, you know, you don't have a lot of option. And being a fashion-crazed person that I am, and a clothing designer in my spare time, wherever that is, it's just so depressing to be so large and to be unable to find really nice clothing in your size. I mean, there is decent plus-size clothing out there, but I really don't like most of it. The best option would probably be Torrid if you're into hip fashion and Women's World, or Lane Bryant if you're into slightly more sophisticated fashion, but you're not going to be able to fit into anything by Gucci, guaranteed. So my biggest allies were basically Old Navy and eBay, because a combination of not wanting to spend a lot of money and being a plus size, that was really where I shopped. And now I'm just shocked to be able to report that I am officially a size 8. I thought a size 10 was going to be like, I would really be happening if I was a size 10. And I suppose not to discredit myself a month ago or so, but like size 10, I see now that I could really be smaller than that. And I thought, okay, maybe someday, you guys probably remember that video, and I said, I think perhaps I might be an 8 someday. Well, I am very officially an 8 now, and in fact, several of the dresses that I tried on, especially at St. John, were size 6. So that makes me think that at ideal weight, I'll be a really comfortable 8 and sometimes 6. Isn't that like such a trip? I thought size 6s were like teeny tiny skinny minis. I think perhaps I have slight body dysmorphia because I just don't see myself looking like that, but I do fit into a 6. So that tripped me out, and that was super exciting. I had a whole bunch of other questions I wanted to answer, but there's just no way I'm going to get to them. So maybe I'll do another video tonight to post tomorrow or something, and I will answer these questions. Take care of yourself. I hope I still keep losing, keep working out, keep getting healthier, and I will see you next week.